In today's video, we're gonna look at why Mahmoud seems so insufferable, how Nicole went from maybe a little naive to being straight up silly, and how this lethal combination might create some of the biggest fights of the season. Let's start with Mahmoud. What's the first thing you noticed about him? For me, it was this constant, inappropriate, childish attitude he seems to have.
You said so rude?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're mad at me? Okay, thanks. Yeah.
I love you. How are you?
I mean, just put that away. Put that away. Why do you need out your phone?
I just like wanted to check something.
What? What do you need to check?
It's a secret.
Hey, can I get a hug without the phone? Hey, honey, I love you. What phone? I don't even know what a phone is.
The last 10 years I've lived by myself.
Yeah, my love, I know that.
I'm just worried this will be a lot for me, and I know.
Like you hear that.
Yeah, I know.
The noise outside.
I will try next time go and make them quiet.
No, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just saying like that there has to be some peace, right? Like
I know, honey, but they won't enjoy too, the kids.
There's just a lot going on here, and I think I need to slow down. And yeah, okay, I'll go make everybody stop. No, that's okay. I just wanted you to validate my feelings a little bit, and you know, kids will be kids. You know. It's pretty annoying, right? But I think I can empathize with him here. One of my exes was pretty emotionally volatile, so when I sensed that she was a little upset, I would often resort to a sort of lighthearted, joking, nothing's wrong here sort of place to keep the peace, you know? James, I know you're scared, but you don't have to manage other people's emotions. That could be what's going on here, him trying to lighten the mood to just smooth things over, but if he is doing that, he's just so bad at it that instead of lightening the mood, he often just comes off like an asshole, and it gets worse.
So now you're saying like tight is an issue.
I don't want you wearing clothes. It's like, oh, it's like Sam on your body. No.
Oh, I'm sure they'll communicate effectively about this highly nuanced topic.
The jacket wasn't buttons up, and you could see like.
No. No.
I know what it was, and I'm not going to say it out loud.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
No.
Who does this? I don't even know what he's trying to say here, but the combination of him smiling and throwing his hands up in the air like he just don't care while flippantly disagreeing with her, it's pretty aggravating.
Don't making this more hard on me, okay? Please.
Could you stop being upset when I tell you what to do? You're making it so hard to tell you what to do.
I don't want to have to fight tonight. Okay?
Facetious. Treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. Flippant. Don't want to talk about it right now? Alright, cool. But that tone, that okay, it just feels so whatever. Next.
I know you're just going to give me a lot of troubles. Yeah, I know you love to fight. No, my love, this is true. You don't want to start a fight.
You don't start any fights?
Sometimes, but not much as you do.
I know some couples enjoy bantering like this. Oh, you're such a pain. Well, only because I learned it from you. Oh, shush, you love me. Yeah, I do. It's nothing like some quality shit talking to really tell someone you love them. But that sort of thing tends to work a lot better when both people are into it.
I said yes because I thought there would be some wiggle room, but there is none. It's completely very rigid.
You serious?
No, I didn't. And I didn't think about it. I really didn't.
Ugh. That's like if a kid falls down on the playground and gets a scrape and goes to tell her dad, and dad's just sitting there like, oh, you hurt yourself. Didn't I tell you to be careful? Yeah? You didn't take me seriously? I guess not? So it's your fault then. Damn, dude, why you gotta be so hardcore about it? Where's the love, man? To be clear, I don't think Mahmoud's abusive. At least not yet. But before I go on, I should say, yes, Mahmoud is from Egypt. Their cultural norms, as portrayed on the show at least, can seem very misogynistic and controlling to those of us who grew up in a modern Western society. But I don't really care about the cultural differences. After all, Mahmoud might be considered a misogynist in American culture, but is that really a reflection of the content of his heart? Or is it a belief ingrained into him by his society? But there's the stuff you argue about, and then there's the way you argue about it. And as great as Nicole is at cutting Mahmoud some slack about the stuff, I think she extends that slack too far and lets him get away with his toxic man-child behavior. And that's a big no-no. Because if you have a partner that respects you for who you are and loves you, who you can figure stuff out together with, you're set for life, man. put a ring on it. But unfortunately, Mahmoud doesn't seem like he's cut from that cloth. Get it? Because he works in the fabric store. All right, never mind. But Mahmoud's immaturity is only half the problem. And I think the other half is Nicole's naivety. Nicole is a very open person. Yeah, she's got the hair and the fashion and the drinking in the park thing. But according to the Big Five model of personality traits, open people are intellectually curious, open to emotion, sensitive to beauty, and willing to try new things. When your buddy calls you at 1 a.m. asking if you want to fly out to Portugal, it's not your accounting friend who's giving you the jingle. It's your temperamentally open art history major ex-roommate, who may or may not be living on someone's couch. It's a temperamentally open person who would fly to Egypt on a spiritual whim, meet and fall in love with a local fabric store manager, and convert to Islam the day of her wedding without really asking any questions. But as great as being an open person may be, and they're pretty great in my opinion, one of their fundamental flaws is naivety. And I think Nicole might have a real problem with it. Here's what I mean.
I am Muslim. I converted, yeah, I did convert. 2 days before I married Mahmoud. I love that Mahmoud loves his religion so much. And so I thought, wow, maybe I'm missing something.
Have you not met someone religious before? Because it just seems odd to me that at 38 years old, you see somebody who is religious and gets a lot of meaning from it and you think, oh, well, that seems pretty cool. I'll try that for a little while, but I don't know. Maybe she knows more than that and, that was just a bad scene.
Mahmoud said that all you have to do to become a Muslim is you have to say the Shahada, which is there is only one God and that Muhammad is his prophet. And I wholeheartedly believe those things. I needed much more information because as it turns out, there's a lot more to it than just saying the Shahada and believing the things that you say. I don't think I need to do all of those things to have a great relationship with God, as long as I'm working towards being like a better person.
I have so many questions. You've lived to be 38 years old and traveled to Egypt, and you haven't heard by now that Islam? Kind of known for being strict and requiring a lot of dedication.
And the more I started to learn how faithful they are and devoted, I just found it really beautiful. I don't think I need to do all of those things.
Okay, let's say you've never heard of Islam or met Muslims before or opened a newspaper in your whole life. Just zooming out, you know that religion is kind of a big deal, right? I mean, I'm sure you've seen how massive and beautiful churches and cathedrals and temples are, or heard of the wars and conflicts that have been going on the last several thousand years. And come on, you really didn't notice people praying 5 times a day while you were in Egypt? Okay, benefit of the doubt. She said that Mahmoud didn't give her the full story. But even if that's true, don't you think you'd ask a few more questions before saying yes to something like that? Well, I don't think I need to abide by their rules. I think I just need to believe in God, and the rest is between me and the big man upstairs. And that's fine to believe if that's your thing, but how ignorant and naive do you have to be about the world to think you can casually convert to a major organized religion and not expect they'd have rules? Am I off here? Am I too harsh? It just seems like there's so many layers that would stop you from asking questions or not. I don't know. This is concerning because if the naivety she has shown with regards to Islam and religion is any indication to her general naivety or how she might be approaching living abroad or culture in Egypt, if she really is that naive about this whole thing, then she's in for a lot of problems and will create a lot of problems in the relationship that aren't even Mahmoud's fault, which is why I say that although Mahmoud's immaturity is a problem, it's only half the story, and Nicole's naivety definitely plays a part in this. I'm gonna be honest with you here. When I started writing this video, I had a much more negative view on Mahmoud than I do now. The first interaction we saw with the two of them together was that Skype scene, and that looked like the worst interaction they've had on the show so far. But after watching the last episode and going back and rewatching earlier scenes to get these clips, I started to notice another pattern that became increasingly difficult to ignore in my analysis. So here are the other clips that I found. See if you can spot a pattern.
I hate this idea of losing Nicole again because it was so hard. My wife going to stay more this time.
You're worried that I'm not gonna stay?
Yeah, sometimes because she will have to change her mind a lot. Because maybe tomorrow you wake up, oh, I hate Egypt, I need to leave now. That's normal you do. I love you. You know, gonna say? This was so hard on me because I can't get her love out of me, no way.
Man, he's scared. He loves her, and he's scared. Don't get me wrong, he's not handling it very well. But then I think about Nicole, and when I first started writing this video, I knew I was going to talk about Nicole and her naivety, but I thought I was only going to talk about it to the extent that her naivety was possibly blinding her to his character flaws, and she was so focused on the cultural differences and the stuff that they were talking about that she would ignore or not notice the bad character that he displays. But looking at it now, I really do think that her naivety might be just as bad or worse as his immaturity. Because honestly, I could absolutely see a world where Mahmoud meets a really open, free-spirited gal from America who thinks Islam is beautiful and Egypt is beautiful and agrees to marry him and convert to Islam and move to Egypt to be with him. But she only converted to Islam because she didn't think they'd have rules, and eventually realizes that visiting Egypt and living in Egypt are two different things. Dream shattered for Mahmoud, and it wouldn't have been all his fault. And now we see, every chance he gets, he jumps in to say, "You're not leaving again, right? Because you know how you change your mind a lot." "Yeah, all right, you got a lot of luggage. Yeah, that's good. That means you want to stay, right?" "Yeah, we'll just have to take your passport, you know, that way you can't leave again." "I love you. Say you love me. Say you love me back." And when you see it like that, his fear seems so obvious and sad. And now when I see those scenes, I don't see a controlling jerk face who's trying to manipulate her, you know, anything like that. I see a very scared child not wanting to be abandoned again. But it's not all doom and gloom. Not on this channel. So what can they do about it? And what does this mean for them? Unfortunately, the way I see it, it's only a matter of time before Nicole reaches her breaking points with this transition to living in Egypt. That'd be a lot for anyone to handle, but for someone as naive as her, I think the impending reality checks will hit 10 times harder. And if she does freak out, how will Mahmoud handle it? Maybe he'll rise to the occasion, listen to her non-judgmentally, and ease her transition when he can. But it's also possible to see his immaturity take over, and him resort to blaming her for everything, pushing her away, and giving up when she needs him most. If Mahmoud can transfer some of his anxious energy in healthier ways, like being honest with her about his feelings or going out for a run to calm down, then he might end up looking a lot less like an asshole and will make her feel more comfortable. As far as Nicole goes though, I don't know, I guess it's not that helpful to just say, be less naive next time. So I don't really know what advice I could give her, but hopefully as she adjusts and is less overwhelmed by the everything, they can have more heart-to-hearts about their differences and find more opportunities to compromise. I hope so, at least. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this attempt by me to defend someone that maybe a lot of people don't like, I tried to do the same thing with Big Ed of all people, so you can watch that one. Actually, I think it's here, right? You can watch that video here. Otherwise, if you like the video and want to see other healthy living and relationships related content, then you know what to do. Hit subscribe, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, and every comment helps the algorithm. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.